Agaves are essential because they're the primary food source for endangered lesser long-nosed bats. We have a population of lesser long-nosed bats that has been kind of declining every year. We started measuring the numbers of bats in the 90s, and we estimated a population of around 20,000 bats back then, and now our population has declined to only around 4,000 individuals. We're really worried about it because that's a really huge decline. And so we knew we had to take some action to make sure this decline didn't keep continuing. By planting agaves, we can ensure that the bats will have a food source in the future. Historically, a large portion of the park was used to graze cattle, and this grazing occurred for over a century and ended in the 1990s. And the grazing practices that were used had a lot of negative effects on not only the agave population, but kind of the entire ecological balance of the park. And our agave population density has dropped from around 40 agaves per acre to around 0.25 agaves per acre in our grazed areas. So, we had to take action. To compound this problem, we have an invasive grass species called lemon lovegrass it was introduced for erosion control and as forage for cattle. It's really great for those two things, but it's kind of bad for everything else. Lemon lovegrass is really great at tolerating drought and just outcompeting all the native grasses. We kind of defined this 500-acre area, which was kind of disturbed to the highest extent we knew we wanted to restore. But we're a small park, and we have limited staff, and so we knew we would need assistance with this large-scale restoration. We have a school, Valley View School, that's located only 15 minutes away from the park. So it seems like a really great opportunity. I contacted the local middle school science teacher. His name was Dominic Alvarez, and he was just instantly on board, super enthusiastic about working with us. And so we had this vital resource that needs restoration. We had willing volunteers, and we just needed funding to take all these kind of distinct elements and bring them together into a cohesive project. We decided to submit for a Disney Nature Impact Grant funded by Disney Nature and the National Park Foundation, and we were really fortunate to be selected to receive the funding we needed to make this project a reality. We designed this project around a series of field trips where middle school students would visit the park to perform restoration tasks while learning about bats, agaves, migration, pollination, and population density, and all these other related topics that fit within their science curriculum.
What did you talk about agaves at school?
In November 2014, we had the middle schoolers from Valley View, along with parent volunteers and their teachers. They visited the park to collect agave seeds from one of our few existing agave stands. And November is a really great time of year to collect seed because a very high percentage of the seeds are ripe and ready to go. And so the students, we had them, collect the seeds with all these great tools. They got to reach up high on the stalks and collect them, and then we had them examine the fertility of the seed pods and make an inference about what that means for the bat and agave populations. And so then we had the kids take their seeds and they planted them on these germination trays in their classrooms, which we purchased with grant funding. And the students are currently growing thousands of agave seedlings. We had really great germination rates. They did a really good job planting them. And I really think that this is one of the most rewarding aspects of the project because the students are involved and engaged in the restoration process from the very beginning. They take those seeds, they put them in the dirt themselves, and they watch them grow into plants. And they have this sense of ownership over the project. And a lot of them were even telling us about all the names they had for their agaves. And so, the students have really become connected to the park, and they're becoming stewards for the resources here. Then, in the spring of 2015, in April, we started another field trip with the middle schoolers, and they visited the park to kind of get the area ready for the planting. And so they dug the holes for their agaves, and they pulled lemon lovegrass from all around the holes that they were digging. So they learned all about invasive species and all these really great concepts. next month, they returned to the park in May to plant agaves in their holes, and we planted hundreds of agaves that day. It was really successful, and we even had help from our local National Park Service and Forest Service fire engine and crew, and the firefighters showed the students, all these different career options that there are in these agencies. I think beforehand, the kids, they weren't aware that you could become a firefighter for the Forest Service or the Park Service. We even had a student tell us that she wanted to be a park ranger when she grew up, so that was really great. The students are still growing agaves, and with the money from this grant, we now have the infrastructure in place to germinate and grow agaves at Valley View, and we have all of the protocols in place to bring students into the park to help plant and restore many more acres. And we actually have plans to hold another field trip for summer school students this year, and we plan to continue restoring. We want to get through those 500 acres, and now we have the capacity to do so. We've made such a positive effect throughout the community. We know that the support for this project will continue, and Dominic's also making arrangements for the project to continue with new science teacher at Valley View or even another school in the community. We have these students who tell us they have never visited a park before, despite living 10 minutes away, but they couldn't wait to come back, and we saw them visiting again. We've also met parents at community meetings who told us that their children loved their field trips to Coronado. And so we're just really thrilled with the success of the project and the impact we made, and I can't wait to see where this positive momentum will take us.